Ever find yourself unmotivated, unfocused, and discouraged? Well, in a world of challenges, which we all lived in, it's easy to feel that way sometimes. It can be hard to stay motivated and to stay focused as it relates to your goals. What if I told you, though, that there's a simple but scientifically backed tool that you can use in order to get yourself out of that rut and to become more focused and be more motivated? This tool can make a big difference, and this tool is called encouragement. It's a powerful force that can not only help you, but it can help those around you. You take the focus off of yourself, put it on someone else. You'd be surprised as it relates to reciprocity, how the universe can reward you with encouragement for your own personal life. So that's what we're talking about today on Rethink. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. It is always my pleasure to welcome you into the channel, the podcast, wherever you're listening to us. If you're over on YouTube, please make sure you go ahead and subscribe and give us the comments. Let us know what you're thinking about the shows that we're doing here. If you are on the podcast side, come on over to YouTube and check us out periodically. We'd love it. Make sure you're also subscribed there and you're following us and you are sharing, liking, and commenting, doing all that good stuff to help us be seen on as many different platforms as we can be. Help us to share this message. If it resonates with you, there's a good chance it can resonate with someone else. And certainly if it's helping you, it is a great chance for you to share this message and help someone else. So I got a few slides for you today, and I want to kind of just walk through some of this methodology. Obviously, we've all heard of encouragement. I hope that we've all been encouraged by someone external in the past, and especially the most recent past, because I think that is something that can really help us to maintain our momentum. But today we're just going to talk about some history and some scientific backing of encouragement and actually what it does within the brain. And I think that can help you to understand how powerful these simple tools can be. So if you haven't checked out our recent podcast, we were talking about not encouragement, but we were talking about smiling. These are simple concepts that we're bringing to you in a little different way so that you can see that everyone, it doesn't take millionaires to go out and, feed a whole block and that sort of thing. That's great. But what can you contribute? Here's some things that you contribute on a very seemingly small scale that can have a very large impact. So if you haven't checked out our show on smiling, please go back. I think it was show 46 or 47. And then, of course, we're going to talk today about encouragement. So these are things that all of us can do. These are free. This is just something that you have to be knowledgeable of, mindful of, and actually do, because we know here that knowledge does not apply itself. So let's get rocking and rolling. What is encouragement and why does it matter? Here's our working definition today. Encouragement isn't just about giving someone a pat on the back. It's about providing positive reinforcement in a time that where it is needed the most. The science of encouragement shows that positive reinforcements can significantly impact our mindset, our behavior, and our overall success. Now, in this case, we're talking about you encouraging someone else, but I want you to put yourself in the position of the person being encouraged. Just consider so many times when you're in these gray areas, let's call them gray areas. And it's gray because there's not a clear answer to your challenge. You are, trying to achieve a particular goal, be it in your relationship, be it in your health, be it in your finances, be it in your career or your entrepreneurship. You're on a path, but you've gotten to a decision, you've gotten to an area where you're just unclear of what to do next. So what usually happens? Number one, we begin to procrastinate because we don't really know what steps to take. Number two, if we procrastinate long enough, we feel unproductive. So maybe anxiety and stress and depression can kick in because we feel like we're being non-productive. We're not moving, we're not progressing toward our goal. Has there been a time when you're in this gray area where someone came to you and just encouraged you to move forward? just maybe told you what a great job you were doing, that they were proud of the efforts that you're putting forth, the efforts that you've made so far, and what impact did that have on you in terms of its outcome? Okay, so I want you to kind of think from that standpoint. The history and the science of encouragement. Number one, in this modern era, psychologists have studied the effects of positive reinforcement or encouragement. So, finding that encouragement can significantly improve your performance. It can boost your self-esteem, and it also can rewire your brain for success. This can literally rewire your brain for success. Encouragement. Studies in psychology have shown that encouragement actually activates the brain's reward centers. Okay. This is when you get those good feeling chemicals like I feel like I'm doing a good job, I feel productive, I feel happy, and that sort of thing. It releases dopamine and serotonin, and these are associated with those good feeling emotions that I just described. Psychological response not only makes us feel good, but it also reinforces positive behaviors, making us more likely to repeat them. So, no different than if you are coaching a little league team, if you are parenting, if you're in a relationship, with another human being, you will find that the old saying is true. You're going to get, more bees with honey. You're going to be more successful with encouragement as opposed to negative rewards. One of the things I've always said, and I tell kids when I am mentoring them, because it's a simple concept to be able to accept and understand. I tell them positive actions equal positive rewards. And then we can give an example of a positive action. And then negative actions equal negative rewards. So people can draw a simple, line towards a positive action and a negative action. And so when it comes to encouragement can be a positive action, something that you can insert into your self-talk. We're going to get into that in a few minutes too, not just talking to other people, but also encouraging yourself. Because unfortunately, many times we're in those gray spaces and no one comes with encouragement. No one comes and says, everything's going to be okay. This is part of the process. I've been here before myself. You're doing just fine. Everything's going to work out. Things that you really need to hear. Maybe no one actually comes. In that case, you've got to be able to encourage yourself. And we're going to talk about how to do that in just a few minutes. So let's say there's no encouragement. What are some of the issues that, not understanding the impact of encouragement could bring? Well, number one, lack of motivation. I talked about that a little earlier. Without the encouragement, people often struggle to find motivation to pursue their goals. Without the motivation, they're not going to move forward. So here's an example. What if a student who never receives positive feedback might lose interest in their studies, believing that they're not capable of succeeding? Because no one really encourages them to continue and to study. And yeah, I know it's not super interesting, or maybe this work is very hard, but I'm telling you, it's going to pay off. That really is the role of a teacher, of a parent. That's encouragement. Number two, the issue could be negative self-talk. And of course, we don't want that. There's one person, there's one voice, well, at least one that we're listening to all the time, but there's really two voices. There's a still small voice, and then there's you. That negative self-talk, it plays on repeat within your head 24/7. Well, it doesn't have to, is my point. But you are always having a conversation with yourself. Is it a positive one or is it a negative one? When you don't receive encouragement, we're more likely to engage in negative self-talk. This is scientifically proven. I don't know why it is. I really don't, but it seems so easy to believe, accept, and then eventually manifest a negative result than a positive result. We seem to be more automatically pessimistic as opposed to optimistic. I know it's a programming feature and it happens early on, but now that you are aware of it, you must recognize this sort of thinking within your self-talk. So here is saying that when you don't get, positive reinforcement, i.e. encouragement, that we tend to go negative. Maybe we are thinking that we're not doing a great job in our careers, and no one's telling you otherwise. Your boss never comes out and says, "Hey, by the way, you're kicking ass today." No one says that. So maybe you think you're not kicking ass, and you start to kind of spiral within your own thoughts. Maybe my reports are not accurate. Maybe I'm just not, in the best network. Whatever it is that is going negative in your mind, it seems to spiral. And we don't want that to do that, because this can lead to a cycle of self doubt, and for you to become anxious and to you know, become a manifester of negative stuff. And you don't want that. You want to think about the things you want, not the things you don't want. And the next thing can be low self esteem. Um, Consistent lack of encouragement can result in low self esteem. Imagine if an employee who never hears praise for their work, just like I said before, they may start to feel unvalued, incapable, ineffective. This can affect their performance, and their performance right now can affect their overall career projection or trajectory. So, low self esteem is also one of the issues of not understanding the power of encouragement. Fear of failure is another. Without encouragement, the fear of failure can become paralyzing. Fear of failure. Sometimes we don't even start a project because we don't want to fail. And the fact that we didn't start, at least we didn't fail, but we're not doing anything. We're not moving forward. So fear often keeps people stuck in their comfort zones. They're afraid to take risks, and this could lead to, no growth and no success. So the fear of failure. And then lastly, isolation. And this is really one of the darker places that we want to be. We don't want to be isolated because we're not made to be isolated. And I think we saw this a lot of times over in during COVID when we were isolated. Um, Not having encouragement can be detrimental. So encouragement is a key component of building strong relationships. Without it, people can feel isolated, leading them to loneliness and depression and things like that. So these are some of the issues that you could face when you don't understand the power of encouragement. Now, how do you harness the power of encouragement? So here's the action. And of course, I'm going to give you a worksheet today too, so that you can kind of document some of this stuff. But how do we harness the power of encouragement? And just so you know, if you are new to the channel, new to the podcast, if you ever hear snoring like on my video or on my audio, it's my French bulldog Shug. He likes to sleep underneath my table, and it seems like every time I start recording, he goes to sleep, and he's having the best sleep ever. And maybe I'm putting him to sleep because he's snoring like a little bear. So if you ever hear that, know that it's not a sound effect. It's my dog. So back to it. How do we harness the power of encouragement? Number one, let's practice self encouragement. Let's start off with ourselves. Let's practice self encouragement. It begins with us. Encourage yourself daily by focusing on your strengths and your achievement. You should be keeping a list of all the things that you're strong in, your skill sets that you're very powerful in, and the things that you've already accomplished. This simple practice can boost your confidence, and it helps you to stay motivated. So the longer you stay motivated, the less opportunity you have to fall into isolation and then low self-esteem. You have to motivate yourself. Now, once you're motivated, you can take that energy and that light and that aura, and now guess what? You can encourage others. So that's number two. Make it a habit to lift others up. And it doesn't have to be some long, drawn out deal. You can just give a few simple words to people you know, and especially to people you know, but you can do this to even people you don't know. So whether it's a friend, a colleague, or a family member, or your words of encouragement can have a profound impact on people's lives. It really can have a profound impact on people's lives. And in turn, it's going to impact you. I like to think of it as the reaping and sowing, methodology, the reciprocity, how the universe gives back to you. What you put out is what you get back. And I think if you've got that humble, altruistic, spirit where you see just, what the light is in you, and you recognize it because you see it in everyone else. And you can look past a person's circumstances, you can look past a person's situation, and just know that everything works out, and provide them with a couple words of comfort and encouragement. And man, I'll tell you, like I started off the show saying today, think about it when someone does it to you. Think about what it feels like to receive that. Think about what that does to you. So yeah, the other day I was on Instagram, and I was I came across um, a post from a lady named Tabitha Brown. If you don't know who Tabitha Brown, all you have to do is just Google it or YouTube or go to Instagram and you'll see. But she's the sweetest. She's a technically, I guess maybe she's a comedian, but she's in the vegan space, and she's very, motherly Southern to me, and she reminds me of a lot of family. She has certain sayings and certain mannerisms that I really resonate with, and I find her just very, very sweet. And she's normally doing like cooking and different like tips, better health or something comedic. But this particular post, and I think, well, not I think, I believe that things find you when they need to. And this particular post was just an encouraging post. And the post just simply said, finish what you started. Finish what you started, continue to move forward. Don't let people discourage you. Don't let people stop you. But it was done in such a way that only she could kind of do it. One, it was a very caring and motherly type of tone where I don't know Tabitha at all. I've never met her, but I didn't feel that way when she was saying that. It felt very personal. It felt very direct. And you got to be, I don't know, either really good at social media or just a very authentic person to come across the airways and for it to resonate with someone the way that post did with me. And that sort of kind of solidified this particular episode. I had these notes for a couple days and I haven't worked on this material, but when I saw that post, it reminded me, go back and do that on encouragement because, I don't care where you are in life, you always could use encouragement. Whether I don't want you to think you have to be down in the dumps to be encouraged or to encourage someone. People, you never really know where they are. So most of the time, because most people won't tell you, particularly men. Men are not going to say, "Hey, you know what? I feel terrible, and I don't feel like I'm successful, and I'm really down on myself, and I'm just in the dumps." No man's going to ever come out and say that. That they will go to their graves with incredible pain in their body and their spiritual body, and never say a mumbling word to anyone, and you'll never know it because, particularly in this society, that's seen as weakness. We've been programmed way, way too long and way too deep to expose those types of feelings. So what I'm saying is just by looking at someone, you won't know if they're dealing with someone difficult or not, something difficult or not. You won't just innately know that. So don't wait until someone is, beat down and hunkered over to try to give them a word of encouragement. Let it be a part of your personality. Let it be a part of your everyday walk and talk to be encouraging to people in general. Maybe that's the best way to say it. The third thing in terms of harnessing the power of encouragement is to build a support environment. If you do these three things, I'm telling you, you're going to put a force field around yourself where it's going to be incredibly difficult for anxiety and stress and depression and these sorts of long-term mental low vibrations to get to you, particularly a support group. Why? Because supportive people around you build up your energy, even when your energy is low. Even when your energies are low. So surround yourself with people who encourage you and believe in your potential. When you're in a positive environment, it's much easier for you to stay focused and to stay driven. And also, you can be encouraged to know that these same people perhaps have gone through similar situations. And if they've made it out, you can make it out. You can get advice from them. In addition to the encouragement, it's just a great environment for you to be in and also for you to create. So let's say, for example, if you are a teen mom, if you are a college student, if, it doesn't take, or I should say it this way, anyone can create a support group. Anyone can create a support group. You only need two things. You need a reason, and then you need the people. So the reason could be, it's incredibly difficult for freshmen the first year away from home. Okay, so now you're a sophomore or a junior or senior at your college. Create a support group, offer it to freshmen, and say, hey guys, every Friday we meet here to talk about how you can stay engaged and stay in school and ways to keep your mind off being away from home. Okay, that's your support group. And I guarantee you will have flocks of people at your meeting. Let's move on. Daily practices. What can we do on a regular basis to foster, feed, and keep encouragement at the forefront of our minds? Some of these you know, some you don't know. Affirmations are always good. Start each day with a positive affirmation, such as I'm capable of achieving my goals. That should be your number one thing. Every day you can say to yourself, because you get the choice of deciding how this day is going to materialize, how this day is going to go, and just make an affirmation, make a concrete statement to yourself and to the universe. Today is going to be an awesome day. Today, everything I touch works out for me. Everything works out for me. Today I woke up in my highest of vibrations. I am in my on my most abundant timeline. And so today's going to be an awesome day. I'm only looking for great things. I'm open and receptive to all of the good, all of the love, all of the abundance that the universe has for me today. And then go take a shower. Then go do your exercise. But before your feet hit the floor, let the universe know what kind of day we're going to be having. So affirmations always are good. Gratitude journaling, again, write down the things that you're grateful for so you can focus on what you have and not focus on the things that are absent or you feel like are lacking in your life. One of the issues that we have, and we've all been guilty of this, is putting more focus on things that are bothering us, focus on things that we don't have, things that we feel we're lacking versus the things that we already have. The things that we already have. So gratitude journaling is a great way for you to keep that positive attitude and to keep the focus on the things you already have. And FYI, we have a gratitude journal on our website. You can go there. It's $19. It's 100 days to gratitude. It is awesome because it leads you through. It's a self-guided gratitude, and it's going to be really easy to follow. The third thing is and this is what I like. I really like this. I'm going to challenge everybody to do this. Encouragement notes. Okay, get you some. Go to the dollar store, get you a pack of what they call them, index cards. Leave a kind note for someone in your life each day to lift their spirits. It can be the same person, it can be a different person. But I want to challenge my audience to leave a kind note for someone in your life. Let's say for 30 days, however long you want to go. But let's do a minimum of 30 days. It can be the same person. It can be a different person. You can do 10 days for this person, 10 days for that. But I want you to practice this for 30 days. Leave a kind note for someone in your life each day to lift their spirits. And I'm going to tell you already what that's going to do. It's going to lift your spirits. It's really going to lift your spirits because as you do to the other, you're really doing to yourself. These are the great commandments. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Why? Because the other is you. The other is you. We're all one. So when you put that energy out, you've heard it said, if you want happiness, you must become happiness. If you want love, you must become love. So if you want encouragement, if you want to feel good, then become that for other people. And that comes back to you. All right, so reflective practice. Spend a few minutes each evening reflecting on the day's success, no matter how small it was. I think I probably say this at least once a show. It's so important for you to celebrate your successes, for you to identify areas where your practices are paying off, because it's going to help you to continue, stay motivated, and prove to you that this works. It's going to prove to you that this works and your time is not being wasted. And lastly, mindful breathing. So if you can practice mindful breathing while focusing on positive thoughts, encouraging yourself to stay calm and centered, this helps to center you. This helps to take the anxiety down. This helps to lessen the stress. This really is good work for your vessel, okay? Because you don't want to be in this tense, tight fight or flight muscle, configuration all day. It's not healthy, okay? So what can help is mindful breathing. This allows you to calm down your nervous system. This allows you to be able to take the focus off, take the pressure off of your body and allow your body to relax. It's very important that you practice some level of yoga, and mindful breathing is one of those things. So lastly, I'm going to give you this encouragement map. It's pretty simple. It is a way for you to identify areas in your life where you can be encouraged. So to help you harness the power of encouragement in your daily life, here is an encouragement map. It's a visual diagram that's going to help you track sources of encouragement in your life and also identify opportunities to encourage others. You can keep track of this. We're going to really make this scientific now. So there are 4 columns. First column says source of encouragement. Somebody encouraged you today. It was my best friend. So you write that down. How did they encourage me? Well, they listened to my ideas and they gave me positive feedback. Okay, now here comes the good part. How can I encourage them? That's the next column. How can I encourage them? Well, compliment their strengths. Complement their strengths. And then lastly, the 4th column is opportunities for encouragement. Every day, at least for the next 30 days, you're going to do this, leaving a note. But after you do the note, find a different method or methodology for encouraging. So I'm going to leave that open to you. Send an encouraging text. You can make an encouraging phone call. You can send an encouraging email. You can send an encouraging video mail. I mean, we've got all this technology nowadays. Just 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Hey, I was just thinking about you today. I know it's got to be tough. You just started your new business, but I know you're going to do well. I just want to encourage you to keep moving forward. And save that to your phone, put in your messages, and send that off to your brother who just started that new company. Send that off to your cousin who you know is trying to make his or her way through this entrepreneurship. Okay? So, in conclusion, what we have is a simple, certainly accessible tool now, encouragement. It's going to really benefit us to use this tool as we move forward. It can really make a change in your personal life. It can make a change in your community, and you can affect tens, hundreds. It depends on you. It can affect it because this can also be contagious. Who knows what happens with that student that you encourage that was down, in their freshman year? Who knows what that student graduates and goes on to do based on your encouragement? So you don't really know the effect that you're having, but you are having an effect. And I feel like if you listen to a podcast or watching a channel like this, you want to have an effect. You want to have not only an effect, but you want to have a positive effect. You want to bring light to the room. You want to bring a solution to the problem. So let's be part of the solution and not the problem. Let's be the light. Let's bring the light to others. Thank you guys so much for listening today and for watching today. And if you haven't done so already, you watch all the way through. Thank you guys so much. Please check us out on our website. It is Rethink Podcast and the number 1. Rethink Podcast and the number 1. Over on YouTube, you can just come over, guys, and subscribe so we can get this algorithm really jumping and going. But thank you guys so much for following us and for supporting the podcast. And yep, I will be back very soon with another great thought-provoking show. Have a good one.